Okay, so let's get started. Today we're going to talk about how to change the page background on a template. So as you can see here, we're in the edit mode, and what we're starting to see here is that when you scroll down, the image does not move. So in this situation, what that's telling us is that the page background is actually this image right here with the hand and the flowers. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on Change Background, and you're going to click on Settings. So you've got a couple of options here. You can change the image transparency. So if I do this, as you can see in the background there, the transparency it gets lighter and lighter. You can also change the background of that, the color behind the image. So if I change this to, let's say, gray, and I close this, as you can see, it gets darker, but it takes on more of that gray tone that's behind there. So that's how you adjust the image opacity of the background image. The scroll effect, this is what we're seeing here, is the reason why the image is frozen and it's not moving. So I'm just going to show you, if I were to change this to parallax, I'm going to close this, and if I go to preview, so it's difficult to see here, but the hand is actually, the arm and hand are actually moving with the movement of the mouse. And so it's just a different effect that you get when you want to look at the background. So let's go back to the editor here. Let's go back to change the background settings. And if I change none, then what that does is it now makes the image in the center of the overall page, okay, which you can't see because you have all these other elements that are covering it up. By taking the scroll effect off, in effect what it did was it took the image and moved it to the center, and it's still part of the background, but you can't see it. So most of the time you probably won't use that, but it depends on how big your image is and how much you want to see. So if you really want to make the image the background, that's how you would do it if that's all you're going to have on your home page. So typically where you would use that feature would be as if this was the size right here of your home page, and you would just center it right here in the middle and nothing else would change. So we're going to go back to change the background, click on settings, and so the last thing that I want to show you is this is where you can scale your image, and depending on the size of the image you can tile it, you can make it its original size, or you can fill the space. So what's important about this is that if the image comes from Wix, all of these images actually are already scaled so that they fit the page, and you don't have to really make any adjustments for the scaling and positioning. If you upload your own image and it doesn't meet the requirements for the background, then you may have to actually move the position of the image so that you see all of the image. I know that this can be frustrating when you are trying to adjust the background so I'm just messing around with, so I'm just trying to show you how I can position the image in different places here. So if I move it, I'm going to move it up to the top here. I'm going to close this, and when I scroll down, it still freezes. It's still frozen, and nothing really changes. It just moved the image further to the top. So if we go back here to settings, we're going to change this, move it back to the middle. So that's really how you change your settings if you use one of the images. Now, if you want to change the image, let's close that, and we're going to click on image. And when we click on image, you're going to have 4 different sections. These are all images that you may have uploaded, which I haven't uploaded any images yet. You have social images, which is images that you can pull off of all of your different social networks that you may have access to. And then you have the free images from Wix, and then you have Shutterstock images, which these are images that you can actually purchase. So if you highlight over it, you can see right here that this image is $2.99. If you move over the plus button here, you'll be able to see a bigger image or a bigger view of it, and you'll also see on there the Shutterstock watermark on there, so you can't actually use the image. But we're going to choose one from Wix because Wix has a ton of free great images that I highly recommend. And if you're looking for a particular image and you want to see one, and it may be difficult for you to find the image that you're looking for, and we're looking for something maybe spa related. So the great thing about the search is if I type in spa, I can find all the images that are related, that are or indexed with some kind of tie to a spa. So let's just say we're going to change it to find an image here that would work. Let's just do soaps. Change the background, and now you can see that the background fills up the whole space here. By using this particular image right here, as you can see, it affects everything else around the page. Let me close that. So moving down here, it's still in the background, but these elements that you see here, which we'll get into later, this is a strip, so it's actually covering up the background. And as you get to the bottom here, you can actually see there's the background image again. So by making that change to the different image, you'll see that it affects how your menu bar and your header, all this stuff that's up here, makes it look different, makes it harder to see, makes this harder to see. So you're going to have to go in and make adjustments to this if this is the type of image that you want to use, which we'll get into in a different video, because this is really just focused on the background. So we're going to change, and by the way, you can actually right click in the picture to see the different options that you have, which is change the page design, background design, undo, copy design, so on and so forth. So we're going to change to the page background, and this time we're going to let's do a video. So again, we're going to choose a Wix video, and I'm going to do a spa, and let's use this video right here, tropical spa. And then if I highlight over it, you can actually see what the video looks like before you put it on. So this is a still image of it. Move the cursor over the plus sign, and now you can actually see what the video looks like. So we're gonna, once we select it and hit the check mark, you can double click, or you can just simply click it once like this, click change background, and now it's going to show it as a still image. But if I click on preview, it's actually in the background. So if we go down here to the bottom again, actually that's not there. So now if you click on the when we click on the preview, you can see it's now actually in the background. And again, this particular video, because there's some dark parts to it, and makes the menu show up differently, the words show up differently, and makes it somewhat harder to see. But as we scroll down, the video still runs in the background, and these are the elements that are hiding the video playing in the background. but a cool feature nonetheless that allows you to have video as your background for your particular page. So we're going to go back to the editor here, and let's right click here, change background, and this time we're going to click on color. So let's say you want to just have a solid colored background, and this, you're just going to click on the color picker. You're going to pick the color that you want. You can customize and add a color here, and if you go in here you can actually go in and pick any color that you want. You can do it by the RGB if you have that. You can do it by the name, or you can do it by simply selecting up here, and then when you click add, it's going to add that color right down here into this color bar right here, and all you have to do is simply click on it and it changes the color. So we're going to use this tan color just to be consistent with the original template. And once you select the color, all you have to do, you can click change, and this actually changes the whole color palette related to the website. So when you select a template, the template already has this color palette, which is this gray, tan, pink, blue, and green. If I change the color palette here, this changes the whole website color palette. As you can see, they change down here by selecting all of the different ones over here. So I'm going to close this because I don't want to change the color palette right now. And oops, I'm going to click done. When I click done, now you can see the background is changed. Let's go to preview, and when we click on preview, you can see now that the background is, the whole background is tan, and these other elements cover up the background, but now you have a solid colored background. So we go back to the editor, I'm going to click on image, and when I go in here, one of the downsides to Wix is that it can be difficult to find the other image if you don't remember what the name of the image was. So if you're not sure how it's categorized over here, we know that this is a nail template, a nail salon template, and we are looking for something either spa or nail. So, and we know it was a hand. So I'm going to type in nail, and there you go. You can see all the different hands and sort of nail polish stuff related to the particular image. And oh, there's the image, flower and nails. And I'm going to change it, and there you go. It's back to the original. So there you have it. That is how you change the page background on your template.
Well everyone, that about does it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And we really do appreciate if you would hit that little like button down below, leave us a comment, let us know what else can we help you with on your new website. I'm Matt Cullen with I Decide You and Wix University, and thanks for watching.